right, what's going on, everybody? Dylan K. Johnson here. Welcome back to another training log. Now, before we jump into this, I just want to wish you guys a happy new year. Hopefully your 2020 is off to a great start. So today we're going to be covering two workouts, and we're going to be focusing mainly on the dynamic movement for each workout, so the primary movement of each workout. We're going to be doing a lower body day and then an upper body day, both dynamic effort days. So we're starting off with the lower here, and this is actually from about 2 weeks ago. So due to the holidays, Christmas, all that stuff, and some last minute client work that I had to get done over Christmas, I kind of fell behind on getting these training logs uploaded and edited and all that stuff. So you can expect to see a couple more over the next few days as I kind of get caught up. And then I'll be able to start working again on some more content for all my social media stuff. So stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell if you guys want to be notified of all the great stuff I have planned for this new year. But like I said, we're going to move straight into the workout. This is a dynamic effort lower body day. So today we're going to be hitting some speed squats with a variation. And before I do that, what you're seeing here is my dynamic warm up. So I know I'm saying dynamic a lot, but this is something that I've been focusing on implementing for all of my workouts. And I've noticed a huge increase in my performance once I've started doing this. And the reason being is I'm actually warming up properly before I start my first movement. So with this and with everything that I've been doing, I've been making sure that the weight is really light, and I've been doing just whatever I need to in order to start warming up the joints, muscles, and ligaments and everything that I'm going to be working on that day. So today with lower body, focused on some hip hinges on the belt squat, some belt squats, and then some stiff leg deadlifts, focusing on speed and hip activation and glute activation. So you saw I went through that whole dynamic warm-up, did like 3 rounds, just moving from exercise to exercise to exercise, and then back again, and pretty much only rested when I absolutely needed to. And like I said, the weight is really light, just focusing on warming everything up before I got into this exercise here, which for today's variation, it was going to be speed squats with the SSB to a box that is just above parallel, or actually not just above, just at parallel. With the pad on there, it might look a little bit high, but it's pretty much right at parallel with my hip crease. So today I was supposed to be hitting 10 by 2 at 65% of my estimated 1 rep max plus accommodating resistance. Now, forgot that on the first set, which you just saw before that, and I hit 3 reps, so it was all right. I've been doing a lot of 12 by 3 lately, so I just kind of forgot to drop it down to 2. I knew the weight felt a little bit off, a little bit heavy, but I moved on to my second set, hit 2 reps, and the weight was just way too much. I knew that by the time I got to a couple sets in, I would not be able to move it as quickly as I needed to be for dynamic work, so I had to drop the weight down. And then I continued on with the rest of my 10 sets, focusing on speed and explosiveness. Now, once I finished off that, then I moved into some volume work, again with the SSB. So essentially I just took the accommodating resistance off and I threw on some chains, but I set them up in this particular way to where they are basically adding a lot of instability. So you notice they're bouncing around all over the place. I'm doing some pin squats here. They're swinging, all kinds of stuff. And the reason being is I wanted to force myself to stabilize through the entire range of motion more. It's also just kind of fun to change things up. So rather than using chains in a very typical manner where you'd have them actually sitting on the ground enough to where they aren't swinging around, I set them up to where I actually have them attached to bands so you can see that they're bouncing all over the place, which just adds to that instability of having them not touching the ground. So like I said, whole point of this was just to change things up, add in a little bit of little bit of fun to my workout and just keep things interesting. But with this, I did about 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps per set. And the whole point behind this was to target one of my weak points in the squat, which is essentially just out of the hole. So I set the safety straps up as pins to just above parallel. So I'm like an inch or two above parallel, and I'm trying to stop all momentum, all weight on the safety straps, treat them like they would be a pin squat, and then drive back up through the entire range of motion. And again, using the chains this way, they're really forcing me to stabilize my core, keep my brace as tight as possible, drive my knees out as I'm going down and up through the entire range of motion. Good variation to give a shot to if you guys have chains and bands to set it up like this. I would highly recommend giving it a try because, like I said, it's just fun to change things up from time to time. But I did a few more things for my leg workout that I didn't really record because, like I said, this was going to be focused primarily on my main movement. Now, moving into the next day, this is my next workout, which was an upper body dynamic effort day. We're going to be doing, again, same thing, except we're going to be hitting 10 sets of 3 on bench. So, started off with a nice solid dynamic warm-up, which I didn't record. One of these days I'll record that full upper body dynamic warm-up that I do. Kind of changes from week to week. The whole point is I'm trying to target whatever muscle group that I'm putting an emphasis on that day. So chest, shoulders, triceps, elbows, get everything warmed up before I start my first primary movement, which would be bench in this case. So as you can see here, that was going to be my first working set at 65% for 3 reps. But the bands that I was using were just too much accommodating resistance. So I did 2 reps. I knew that it was just way too much to be able to do speed work with. So I had to drop the bands down to a smaller tension. And then after that, I finished it out. I hit 10 sets of 3 reps with a nice solid speed. And you'll notice one thing that I do here, which is a little bit different from a lot of other people, is I actually control the negative, pause, and I focus on exploding out of the bottom. This is just personal preference. There's a lot of different ways you can do speed benches. A lot of times people will actually focus on pulling the weight down as quickly as possible, hitting their chest, bouncing it off, and driving back up. I don't really like to do that. I like to control the weight down just to ensure that I'm preventing injury, getting as much out of the movement as possible. Makes it a little bit harder, which I enjoy, but it's also something that I like to do. So that was the workouts for this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you can look forward to a few more coming soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, yeah. For the record.